Okay, so the second step in our SEO program is to look at 404 errors. Now, 404 errors are a normal part of most websites. Where they become a problem is if the page that has the 404 error on it is actually indexed in Google, and Google is taking you to this page. And as you can see on this site, if someone landed on this page, it doesn't look very good at all, and it's a bad 404 page as well. The second problem is that originally this page would have had content on it, and there may have been somebody out there on the web who saw this page and thought, oh, that's great useful information, and they may have put a link from their website to this page. So now whenever anybody goes from their website to this page, they get a 404 error. And that's not great for SEO. In those two instances, it's not good for SEO. You could be losing traffic. You could have lost really good links. And when someone gets to a page like this, they usually just leave. They don't, search around to try and, find what they were looking for. Unless you've got a really good 404 error page, or unless it's relatively easy for them to find what they were looking for on your site. So how are these created? How could you end up with these on your site? We're going to look at that. We're going to look at how you can find them, and we're going to look at how you can fix them. So the first thing that you'll find is that, particularly if you have changed your website domain name, if you've changed web developers and you've gone from one web developer to another and they've created a new beautiful website for you, but certainly all these URLs may have changed, or it may well be that you've gone in and changed a page yourself. So I've had instances where web developers have redeveloped a site for somebody. It looks fabulous, but the person's lost 90% of their traffic because they changed all the URLs and everything's going to a 404 page. So it's really, really important to make sure that if you've just had your website changed over to a new website, if you've been going in and changing pages yourself over time, you could have a lot of these error pages. If it's a brand new site that's never been developed before, you've never ever had a website before, then the chances are that you probably won't have any of these errors, but it's a good idea to know about how to fix them in the future and to make sure that you don't create them in the future. Like I said, the first thing could be, that you've got a new web developer, you've got a new template on your site, a new theme, something like that, which could have changed these pages. But to show you an example of how it could actually happen, how you might do it yourself. So just say that we're on this page here, the About page. And currently, this is what the About page looks like. So if I go to hopeorganics.com/about, this is what you'll see. If I now go in and change that, I decide, oh, I don't really like it just being about, I want that to be about us. And then I go, okay. And then I update that page. So I've just now changed the address. So it's pretty much like if you moved home and then you didn't tell anybody that you've actually moved home. That old home still exists, but you're not there anymore. So now what we'll do is we'll go, okay, so we're going to view the page. And we'll now see that our About Us page exists on this URL, About Us. So that's fine. Now if I go back to this previous page, which was the About page, that doesn't disappear. That page still exists, but it's now become an error page. So when we update it, so you can see that now the About page is showing an error page. So just to go over that again, what we did was we changed this from About to About Us. We now have the About Us page, which shows the content, and we've got the about page, which is an error page. So we've got two pages. This page still exists. So in Google, this page still exists until Google discovers that it's a 404 page and that it needs to actually be finding this page. So people will come to it. If people were linking to this page, they're now coming to an error page. So hopefully that makes sense, that when you change these URLs in your pages, might be called a permalink, an alias in some systems, that what can happen is that you create, or what happens is you create two pages and one of them no longer exists. So if we don't want to lose the traffic that was coming to that page, and if we don't want to lose the links that were coming to that page, then we need to make sure that we redirect this. So I'm going to show you later how you can do these redirections, but what I want to show you now is some ways to discover these error pages on your site. So if we go to Webmaster Tools, so if you've got Google Webmaster Tools set up, I just did a check on this site, hopeorganics.com, which is a newish site that I'm working on, and I've just split it into two, a .com and a .com version, and so I know that there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be fixed on the site. And when I went to have a look and see how many 404 errors I've got about 7 here that are not good and that I probably need to redirect. To find this, you just need to go into the crawl errors section of Google Webmaster Tools. And when you click here on the crawl errors section, it'll come up and show you, what kind of errors you've got, and it's the not found errors that you're looking for, and also say the soft one as well, but ideally the not found ones that you're looking for. What we want to do is check that these actually are 404 error pages. So the first one, organic cotton t-shirts, that already is a 404 error page because I just checked that one. So what we do is you just click on that, and this is likely to be an error page because no one would call a page 378, so I'm not even sure what happened there. You can tell from looking in like the landing pages that no one's finding that page, so it's not necessarily an issue. That one's probably just a page that that accidentally got created, and so we don't necessarily even have to redirect that one. But this one, would potentially be a good idea to redirect. Again, we can have a look on this list and see that nobody in the last month has come to that page, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that someone won't. Another way of doing it, if you don't have access to Webmaster Tools, if you've got access to Google Analytics, so just say you go into your Google Analytics for your website, and what you want to do is go down to acquisition, then go down to keywords, organic, and then what we want to look at is the landing pages that people are coming to. So this tells us the landing pages on your website that people are coming to from Google. So we can see that there's 16 pages there that people are coming to from Google. So what I can do is I can go through each of these ones and click on them, and I can see if that's a real page or if it's a 404 error page. So now if I click on this, see how it's got the about page there? Now if I click on that, of course I'm going to get to a 404 error page because that's what we just changed. Okay, and again, I'll show you how we're going to redirect these in a minute. Now, if you don't have access to Google Webmaster Tools or to your Google Analytics, of course, the Google Analytics isn't going to show you all of the errors. This is just one way to do it if you don't have any other access. Another thing that you can do is install a program. It's a free program called Screaming Frog. Screaming Frog SEO Spider. There it is up there. And you can install this on your computer, and then all you need to do is go in here, put in the URL for your website, and click on Start. And this will bring back a whole load of pages from your website. And for me, I would use all of these three, checking for 404 errors whenever I'm sort of firstly looking at a site, just to see if there's any pages where you're losing traffic or losing links. Once again, it is quite normal to have 404 pages on your site, so a lot of 404 pages might not be an issue at all. It's only the pages really where you're potentially losing traffic or losing links, or you're not necessarily losing traffic, but the traffic is going to an error page and then leaving. So effectively you're losing it. It still looks like it's coming to your site, but it's not really doing anything. So I'm just going to pause for a minute while this one downloads everything. Okay, so that's finished crawling the site. So you can see now, if we have a look through like all the status codes, what we're looking for as we scroll down this list is any 404. So we've come up with a 404 there. We've got quite a few that have been moved permanently that have already been redirected. Here we go, it's already found the About page. So we only just did that and it's already created a 404 error for that. Okay, so that's only picking up that one there. Now you can export that to your desktop so you can have a look at all of those and pick out the ones where you've got the 404 errors ready to redirect them. Okay, so this is an error page, and just in case Google indexes this page or has indexed it, what we want to do is redirect it. Now there's many ways that this can be done. You might be able to do it through your hosting company. If you've got WordPress, then you could install like a redirection plugin, and this potentially you could find plugins for all kinds of different sites depending on on what kind of site that you've got. We've got another product here which has disappeared, and so it's your choice. You might go, well, I'm never going to have that product again. If somebody comes to my site, then I prefer that they go to a 404 error page, but a good 404 error page. Otherwise, it may be a page where you are getting you might have been getting 50 people a day coming to this page. Let's have a look and see. So I can see that over sort of February I haven't had anybody coming to that page, so therefore it's potentially not something that I would worry about. But in the future I may want to make sure that people are coming to that page. For my case, because I've changed it from a .com to a .com.au, I do want to redirect that one. And we can see that that's going to a 404 error page, and for now I don't want that to go to a 404 error page. I want that one to be redirected to a page on my Australian website. So now I need to go into my redirection plugin. So I put the link in there, and then I need to find the page on the Australian site that that's going to go to. This page. So you can see that I've done loads of different redirections already, and I'm now redirecting it to that page on my Australian site. So now if I come back to this page and refresh it, you can see that it's taken me to the .com.au version of the site. Now eventually I might unredirect these if I do get a product on my American site that fits that idea, but for the moment I don't want to lose the traffic, so I'm going to direct it there. Then I can go in here, mark that as fixed, Master Tools, and just mark that one as fixed. And then go on to the next one. Now, if you don't have the ability to access some like redirection tools inside your website, then what you're going to need to do is send a list to your web developer that has the link here that you need to, that's the 404 error, and you need to give them the page on your website that you want it to redirect to. So maybe do an Excel spreadsheet with these pages that are the problems, the 404 errors, and the pages on your site that you want them to redirect to. Now, you don't want to redirect them all to the one page because that can cause a big problem with your website. You only want to redirect them to a page on your site where it's an equivalent page. So here we've got, for instance, product category, and it's showing me that page 6 is now a 404 error page, which probably means that, well, it does mean that because there used to be 6 pages and then I took some products off, it now only has 5 pages, and so number 6 has become an error. But in the future, it's going to go up to over 6 again, so I don't necessarily want to redirect that page. Probably what I want to do is set up some kind of a rule in the website somewhere so that it only indexes maybe the first page in this category anyway. So that's something that I can do in WordPress, but again might be something that you want to ask your web developer to do. So when we have a look at this 404 error page that we're seeing on the site, you can see that it's not a great looking page. I mean, it doesn't really help anybody. They can scroll down to the bottom and they can see some categories, but it doesn't kind of say, you know, sorry or anything like that. It doesn't say anything interesting, funny. So there's a lot of sites that get quite creative with their 404 pages, so that if they do actually, unfortunately, people reach this page, that, you know, it either entertains them or gives them some better instructions for what to do. So what we're going to do now is just look at some better 404 error pages that might be more likely to actually keep people on your website. Okay, so this is a blog post I found that has some of the best 404 pages from around the web. So I've got this first one here, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't actually help as far as people being able to find you. Again, funny, but it doesn't give people any kind of action to do in order to find you. This particular page has does have a call to action. I'm not really sure where that actually takes somebody, but you know, that might be something that takes people to the home page of your site. Here's one that's funny, but also has some calls to action. So perhaps you can do a search or contact them. This particular page has like a video within their 404 page talking about how sorry your page is lost, and yeah, you can always pause the video if you want to read the rest of that. This one's got, we can't find the page we're looking for. Click on the magic 8 ball to get answers to your questions. So that's quite creative because it kind of makes you want to do that. Then down the bottom, you might not be able to read it, but it says back to home page, do a search, visit the shop. So that's actually quite a good 404 error page as far as, having actions on there that people can take. This one is like a really cute 404 page. And it's got go to the home page or email, so you can put all kinds of links there. So a search bar is always a really good idea so that people can maybe search within your site for what they were looking for. As this title says, this is with a strong call to action. So this is the eHarmony one, so it's kind of funny, and then it's also getting people to join or log in. Again, we've got a cute page, and it's got options for where you can go. This one could be a really creative way of doing it as well. Here's nearly everything. Another funny one, and it's also got calls to action there. So this one is apparently a highly successful one. This is quite a clever one as well. So it's obviously a site for bands. You can put in your city and state, the date, event, and find things. As you can see, this is a really poor 404 page compared to the pages that we just looked at, and I've left it that way on purpose for the purposes of this video, and maybe by the time that you actually are watching this, there'll be a completely different 404 error page on this website. So that's the end of tip number 2 for SEO for small business websites. We'll just do a review of that. So the first thing is that there's these 404 error pages that exist on your site. They can be created by getting a new web developer and changing your website over, changing your domain name, changing a theme on your website. There's probably other reasons as well, but it also may be because you actually changed it yourself without realizing that it was creating a 404 error page by going in and changing a permalink or an alias or something like that for a page. The ways that you find out whether you actually have a 404 error is going into things like Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, and or using a program like Screaming Frog that can show you where the errors are. There's a lot of other paid programs. Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, and Screaming Frog are some free tools that you can use to be able to find these 404 error pages. Then, the ones that you could have a whole stack of 404 error pages. The ones that you really want to redirect are the ones that could potentially be bringing you traffic or could potentially have had links to them in the past, which is usually going to be proper pages on your website. So you can see that the ones that we've redirected are the ones that were like proper pages on the website. The way to redirect them is to either send a list to your web developer that has the URL for the page that's a 404 error. So that would be, send them this whole like URL that's the 404 error, and then next to it, say in an Excel spreadsheet or something, put the URL that you want it to be redirected to, and your web developers could do that. If you've got WordPress or Joomla or some other kind of CMS system that has a plugin or that already has some kind of redirection system within the website, then it's a matter of going into that redirection plugin, however it looks, putting the 404 error URL, and then putting the one that you want it to go to and adding that redirection, then checking that actually works. So that's the end of step number 2.